Most people think airlines compete with legroom, snacks, or whatever free Wi-Fi announcement they're copying this month. But the truth is way more calculated. Behind the scenes, America's 3 biggest airlines move almost like a synchronized machine, except for one hidden battlefield where the rules fall apart. It's the one thing they can't copy from each other, and it's the reason your next flight might exist, or never will. From the outside, the big 3 airlines are practically clones. Walk through any airport in America, and it's like watching the same movie play on repeat. Blue seats, white fuselage, a gate agent telling you a flight is a little delayed while everyone pretends it's totally normal. But the sameness is exactly the point. For years, these airlines have copied each other so closely that it's become an industry punchline. Raise bag fees. All 3 do it. Tighten legroom. All 3 do it. Add a new basic fare that somehow gives you less than nothing. They copy that too. This is the part passengers see, the safe part, the predictable part. But inside their network planning departments, rooms you and I will never walk into, the tone changes. The walls are covered with maps, demand models, and data sets that look more like missile tracking screens than anything related to tourism. Because this is the one arena where they don't move like clones. This is where they make their actual money. This is where they fight their actual war. And this is where each airline reveals what it really is. A plane seat is worthless if there's no place to fly it. Your snack, your Wi-Fi, your legroom. None of it matters if the route itself doesn't exist or can't support a profit. So while the public thinks airlines compete on product, industry insiders know the truth. Airlines don't compete with seats. They compete with geography. Every new route is a bet. Every canceled route is a retreat. And the big 3 each play this chessboard with a wildly different strategy. United wants to connect everything, everywhere, all at once. American tries to dominate its home turf so completely that competitors can't even breathe. Delta tries to make flying feel premium enough that people choose them even when a rival is cheaper or closer. And all 3 operate with stakes the rest of us never think about. Government permissions, aircraft range, fuel deals, slot rights, weather patterns, geopolitical risks, corporate travel contracts, and even subtle changes in migration. If a route appears, it's because someone in a skyscraper ran thousands of simulations and decided that now, not last year, not next year, is the moment to strike. If a route disappears, it's because the numbers whispered something only experts could hear. This is the invisible system controlling where the world goes. United doesn't fight the same battle the others do. While most airlines obsess over controlling their backyard, United acts like the entire planet is its backyard. To understand them, you have to look at their map. It doesn't look like an airline network. It looks like a spiderweb stretched across every major landmass. And none of that is an accident. United's entire strategy is built on a simple idea. If you own the long-haul world, the world has to come through you. That philosophy goes back decades. When other airlines were trimming international routes to save cash, United was grabbing everything it could. Asia, Europe, the Middle East, South America. Even places that didn't look profitable at first. Because United plays the long game. If they can lock down a region early, no one else can grow there later. And that mindset explains some of their strangest moves. When most airlines were shrinking after global travel collapsed, United did the opposite. They doubled down. New routes to places like Dubai, Brisbane, and Manila appeared out of nowhere. Analysts were stunned, passengers were confused, but insiders knew exactly what was happening. United wasn't reacting to the market. They were shaping it. By being the first American airline back into several long-haul regions, they forced corporate travel contracts, tourism boards, and partner airlines to align with them instead of Delta or American. Even if the flights weren't full at first, the strategic value was massive. This is also why United leans so heavily on its fleet of long-range aircraft. The 787s and 777-300 ERS aren't just planes, they're weapons. Tools built to reach deeper into continents that American and Delta either can't reach efficiently or don't want to gamble on. But here's the twist most people never hear. United isn't doing this because they're trying to be fancy or premium. They're doing it because they know being the global connector gives them leverage no domestic-focused airline can touch. The more international routes they control, the more international traffic flows through their hubs in Newark, Chicago, Denver, and San Francisco. And the more traffic flows through their hubs, the harder it becomes for competitors to steal customers. Even on routes inside the US, United's strength overseas becomes their power at home. But as aggressive as United is, their strategy comes with cracks. Their global-first approach leaves certain domestic markets wide open, and one rival is ready to exploit every inch of that weakness. And that brings us to the airline that plays a completely different game. One built on locking down territory so tightly that even United has trouble breaking in. American doesn't care about conquering the whole world. They care about controlling their world, the southern half of the United States, with a grip so tight that rivals can't even wiggle. If United is the global spiderweb, American is the fortress. Their entire strategy revolves around a quiet but powerful truth. If you lock down the biggest population centers in your region, you control the flow of everything around them. And American has mastered that. Instead of scattering resources across continents, they poured everything into building near unchallenged empires in Dallas, Fort Worth, Charlotte, Miami, and Phoenix. These aren't just busy airports. They're fortresses with walls so high that competitors can barely crack a single gate. Dallas-Fort Worth is the perfect example. American runs so many flights there that trying to compete is like challenging a tidal wave. If another airline adds a route, American can respond with 3 daily flights before lunch. They can undercut prices, outschedule rivals, and swallow market share without even trying. Inside the industry, people joke that American doesn't serve Dallas. Dallas serves American. And the same story repeats in Charlotte. It's one of the most profitable hubs in the world because American uses it like a giant funnel, pulling traffic from dozens of smaller cities and sending it all over the country. No one can match their dominance there, and honestly, no one even tries. But the real ace is Miami. That airport gives American something United and Delta would kill for: total control over the gateway to Latin America. Miami isn't just a hub, it's the beating heart of US Latin America travel. And American has turned it into their personal launch pad. They control more flights to Latin America than their rivals combined. That reach gives American immense corporate leverage, massive loyalty numbers, and a lock on an entire region of the world. And because Latin America continues to grow, American's hold only gets stronger with time. But here's the twist most people don't notice. American's route map doesn't look flashy. It looks repetitive. Lots of short hops, lots of connecting flights. But that simplicity hides a brutal efficiency. American has engineered their network to trap traffic in their system. Once a customer is inside their funnel, they're not leaving. The downside: American's obsession with territorial control means they don't take big international swings the way United does. They're cautious. They're defensive. They play to protect, not to explore. And that's where the next airline steps in. The one with a strategy built on something far more emotional than territory or global coverage. Because while United wants reach and American wants control, Delta is chasing something completely different. And it might be the most powerful strategy of all. Delta doesn't rely on having the biggest map or the most territory. They win by making passengers believe, genuinely believe, that flying with them is different. If United thinks in continents, and American thinks in fortresses, Delta thinks in reputation. Their strategy is built on one core idea. If people trust you, they'll choose you. Even when the route is inconvenient, the fare is higher, or a competitor is technically better. And for years, Delta has mastered that psychological battlefield. Walk through any airport and you can spot Delta passengers instantly. They're not comparing prices. They're not hopping between airlines. They're loyal, sometimes irrationally loyal. Because Delta has spent decades engineering something the others can't duplicate: perception. And the trick is, it's not just branding. Delta backs it up with ruthless consistency. While other airlines chase expansion or defend territory, Delta obsesses over the things passengers actually notice: on-time performance, smoother boarding, fewer cancellations, cleaner planes, friendlier crews. They treat reliability like a weapon and polish like armor. Inside the industry, people say, Delta isn't premium. Delta just feels premium. And that difference is everything. That perception lets them do something almost unheard of in aviation: charge more. Not because they offer luxury, they don't, but because people trust them enough to pay for peace of mind. But here's the part most passengers never hear about. Delta's route strategy supports this image perfectly. They don't try to fly everywhere. They focus on routes where they can guarantee a high-quality, high-yield operation. Their hubs: Atlanta, Minneapolis, Detroit, Salt Lake City, Seattle, aren't just airports. They're polished machines built to make flying feel smooth, controlled, predictable. Delta doesn't just run hubs. They engineer experiences. And because they avoid the chaotic, low-margin battles American and United constantly fight, Delta ends up with fewer cancellations, fewer meltdowns, and fewer PR disasters. Their network is tight, intentional, and optimized. But here's the twist. Delta's greatest strength also creates its biggest limitation. Their obsession with reliability makes them cautious. Too cautious. While United adds bold, long-haul bets and American locks down entire regions, Delta expands slowly, safely, almost conservatively. Which is why the next part of the story gets interesting. Because even with three distinct strategies: global reach, territorial dominance, and loyalty-driven prestige, the battlefield isn't balanced. One airline is quietly pulling ahead in a way the industry didn't expect. And the reason comes down to a shift nobody saw coming. For years, the big three played their roles perfectly. United owned the globe. American ruled its territory. Delta perfected its image. The game was stable, predictable, almost boring. Then the world flipped. A worldwide shutdown crushed demand, flipped route economics upside down, and exposed weaknesses no airline wanted the public to see. And in the chaos that followed, something unexpected happened. Passengers stopped caring about tradition and started caring about flexibility, reach, and trust. All at once, the old strategies didn't work the same way. Corporate travel, the bread and butter of US airlines, shrank overnight. That hit Delta hardest because their high-yield customers simply weren't commuting between major cities anymore. Suddenly, being the premium airline wasn't enough. American's fortress strategy was shaken too. Their hubs were built for volume. Huge numbers of short and medium connections flowing through tight banks. But when demand became unpredictable, those giant waves turned into choppy trickles. A fortress is powerful until no one shows up at the gates. But the biggest shift came from something almost no one predicted. Long-haul travel recovered faster than expected and came back stronger. People wanted international trips more than ever. Long-distance family travel surged, tourism rebounded, remote workers started living abroad, and that wave of global demand played straight into the hands of exactly one airline. For the first time in years, the balance of power tilted sharply and publicly. And the airline that suddenly held the advantage wasn't Delta with its loyalty empire. It wasn't American with its regional dominance. It was the one that had spent decades preparing for a moment no one else believed would come. The airline that could connect almost any two places on Earth without blinking, United. But the story didn't end with a comeback, because as soon as one airline gained momentum, the others weren't about to sit there and watch. The counterattacks, the unexpected moves, the shifting alliances, that's where things get messy. And that's where the real fight begins. Behind the scenes, the big three aren't just competing, they're ambushing each other. One airline launches a new route. Another slams a matching flight down the next morning. A third quietly buys up all the valuable takeoff slots before anyone notices. These battles rarely make headlines, but they decide which airline grows and which one gets boxed out. United pushes deeper into Asia. Delta counters by strengthening Seattle and forming tighter partnerships overseas. American expands in Miami. United and Delta rush to scoop up Caribbean connections to slow them down. Delta dominates corporate travel in New York. American and United fire back with aggressive schedules at JFK and Newark. Every move triggers another. Every gain comes with a cost. And even though the public sees three similar airlines, insiders know the truth. They're in a constant chess match, and every route is a piece on the board. But the most interesting part isn't the battles themselves. It's the one metric that's now deciding who actually wins these fights. For decades, airlines bragged about aircraft size, fleet count, and shiny new cabins. None of that matters now. The real power comes from one number: yield. Yield is the money airlines make per passenger, per mile. And recently, it's become the entire game. You can fly a full plane and still lose money if your yield is weak. You can run a half-full plane and still profit if your yield is strong. And suddenly, the big three are living in completely different yield worlds. United's long-haul boom has pushed their yield higher than anyone expected. Those international routes, once risky, are now feeding them premium demand at levels the industry hasn't seen in years. Delta, meanwhile, keeps squeezing every possible dollar out of loyalty. Their passengers willingly pay more because they trust the experience, even if they have cheaper options. American, they're stuck in the middle. Their fortress hubs give them huge volume but inconsistent yield. Some routes print money, others barely survive. And here's the twist. Whoever controls yield controls the future, because high yield means new planes, new routes, more power, more leverage, and more dominance. Low yield? That means cutbacks, retreats, and painful choices behind closed doors. And right now, one airline has figured out how to weaponize yield in a way the others can't easily copy. Most travelers would guess United, American, or Delta based on size or visibility. But the truth is subtler. United is quietly winning, not because of flashy perks or even sheer volume, but because they've mastered network leverage. They take risks others avoid. They connect cities others ignore. They dominate international leisure routes that are growing fastest. They induce demand in markets with little historical precedent, like Christchurch or Cebu. American focuses on efficiency and control. Delta focuses on loyalty and perception. United focuses on opportunity. And opportunity has a compounding effect. Each successful route strengthens hubs, attracts more premium passengers, and locks out competitors before they can react. The airline's quiet dominance isn't obvious when you walk through an airport. It's visible only when you look at the whole map. How thousands of flights interlock, how schedules align, and how no other airline can replicate certain connections without massive risk. In short, United doesn't just fly planes, they engineer markets, and that gives them a subtle edge most passengers will never notice until they try to fly somewhere else and discover no one else goes there. So next time you book a flight, remember this: the battles you see, legroom, fees, Wi-Fi, are just the surface. The real war happens invisible to most passengers, in maps, schedules, and spreadsheets no one ever talks about. United bets on risk and global reach. American locks down territory and volume. Delta sells trust, loyalty, and reliability. Together, their strategies shape the skies above us, deciding which destinations thrive, which hubs dominate, and which airlines survive the next shift in demand. Every route is a calculated gamble, every hub a fortress, every flight a strategic move in a game most travelers will never see. And as global travel grows, the stakes will only get higher. One bold route, one clever hub, one untapped city. It could rewrite the map overnight. The sky isn't just a way to get from A to B, it's a battlefield. And every time you fly, you're part of the game. So the next time you board a plane, remember, there's more happening in the sky than just takeoffs and landings. United, American, and Delta aren't just airlines. They're players in a high-stakes strategy game that decides which cities thrive, which routes survive, and who controls the future of travel. If you want to keep uncovering the secrets behind airline strategies, route networks, and the hidden logic that shapes every flight you take, make sure to subscribe to Aviation Insights. Hit the bell so you don't miss any deep dives, because in aviation, there's always a new move, a new route, and a new story waiting to be revealed.